talk about Rose Namajunas for a second here. Let's talk about Rose. This is another MMA fighting article because I think she was on the MMA Hour again. But it says, Rose Namajunas not ruling out move up to 125 pounds next, potential Valentina Shevchenko fight. A little bit misleading of a title here. A little bit. But only slightly. Anyway, it says, at the moment, Rose Namajunas isn't thinking about fighting. Well, that's certainly nothing new for Rose in between fights. But she has been pondering making some additions to her already vast skill set and possibly her physical frame. Namajunas most recently competed at UFC 274 in May, where she dropped a split decision to Carla Esparza and lost her strawweight title. The former two-time champion headed into that fight with the plan to step away from the octagon for a bit afterward, one way or another, and recently partnered up with Polaris for the Polaris RZR Sunday Stroll content series. Namajunas, along blah, 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 blah. Besides tapping into her adventurous side, Namajunas has her sights set on some different challenges in the martial arts space, as well as putting on some size in the weight room. It says, quote, win or lose, I'm going into the last fight, or win or lose going into the last fight, I knew I was going to take some time off, Namajunas told MMA Fighting. I knew I was going to at least take the summer off. I'll say around September, I'll know exactly what I'll be doing. I have been training a little, but not super consistent. Again, this is nothing new for Rose. Back into it. I did have this little shoulder issue that I've been trying to rehab, and there was this girl, Isis Verbeek, who just won her Invicta fight that came into town, so I got to train with her a little bit. Just some little stuff trying to stay active so I'm not on the couch completely. Continuing, it says, the thing I do know for a fact, and I don't know when exactly I might fight again, but I do know that I want to do a grappling match of some sort. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be lifting lots of weights. Oh, also, once I get my other things in order, my life stuff, I'll be lifting lots of weights and maybe put on a little muscle and just kind of see what happens from there. It says, when asked if that meant a potential move to 125, Namajunas wouldn't fully commit to the move, but she certainly didn't rule it out. It says, quote, I don't know. You can do the math, Namajunas said on a possible move to flyweight. I really don't know. Like I said, just one step at a time. The UFC has given me some offers for things, and I just need the time to just not think about fighting at all. And then in the fall, I'll kind of lay out everything to see what makes sense. Goes on to say, definitely I'm interested in grappling in the near future, blah, blah, blah. Says, of course, should Namajunas make a move up in weight, Valentina Shevchenko is the current flyweight champion. Knowing the UFC's stance on making the biggest fights possible, a matchup between Shevchenko and Namajunas would certainly make some waves. Says Namajunas admits that there would be a cause for pause in some ways should the promotion present her with that opportunity, if only due to the friendship she has with MMA fighting's #1 ranked pound-for-pound women's fighter. But the martial artist in her can't help but be intrigued by the concept if the price is right. Says, I love Valentina Namajunas explained. In my opinion, and I always forget that Amanda Nunes is women's goat of MMA, but Valentina, if she can keep doing what she's doing, you could make that case for her as well. I do consider myself to be Valentina's friend, so in order for me to do that, comma, we would have to be set up, not for life, but it would have to be for a very good reason for me to even want to step to her. It says she is amazing in all ways, and I would have felt what she feels like in practice. And I know a fight is a totally different thing, so that would be hard for me to say. Obviously, as a martial artist, that would definitely be very interesting. But yeah, I don't know yet. It would have to be very lucrative. I love Valentina. I consider her to be my friend. I've never had a problem with being cordial with people I'm going to fight. I maintain friendships with people that I fought, but I've never had an issue with fighting a teammate or anything like that. I have started to think a little bit differently about fighting at this point in my life. Says it would be difficult with the emotions and things like that, and I feel like I'm a different person right now. I would have to think about it. Okay, so here's why this headline is a little bit misleading. Just a little bit misleading. She says nowhere in this fight that she's committed thinking about moving up to flyweight. She says she's not ruling it out, and she is putting on muscle, but she only talks about flyweight when pressed. And as far as the Shevchenko thing, basically, oh, we're friends, and I wouldn't entirely ruling out fighting her, but we are friends, and it would have to be lucrative. That is a really roundabout way of saying no, no way. Look, they have trained together in the past. It was a while ago, but they have trained together. Valentina's gone out to Colorado and trained with her at altitude. But Shevchenko gave her a black eye just in training. She knows she'd have no shot against Valentina. So yeah, the article says she's not ruling out move to flyweight, the potential Valentina Shevchenko fight. But as soon as a fighter mentions, well, we're I consider her my friend, that is basically ruling it out. Unless you say, but I'm willing to fight my friends. I have no problem fighting friends, which she did not. Basically, that is a way of saying I'm not interested in that. And then to say, well, it would have to be really lucrative. Again, that is a nice way of saying no, no, thank you, no thanks. So she doesn't entirely say no, but you got to learn to read between the lines here. Saying, well, she's my friend, and it would have to be for a lot of money. That's a nice way of saying no. No thanks. No. That is fighter talk for no. Now, if they were in the same weight class, that would be a duck, obviously. But because Rose is at 115, the duck does not apply.